Welcome to PlayWyrd Presents Through the Breach with Ink and Lyre. I'm Kimberly, hobby assistant here at Weird Miniatures LLC. With us, we have CJ, Tessa, and Max of Ink and Lyre. We are going to be going through character creation and a few pre-generated mods, augments, demos, and then with some fun little custom stuff thrown in. Let's start with CJ. Why don't you tell everyone a bit about yourself?
Hello, I have just decided to get rid of my green screen, apparently. My name's CJ Starry. It is, it's magic. Thank you.
That's a wonderful magical screen.
Yeah, my name is CJ Starry. So good to meet all of you. I'm so excited for this. I actually was introduced into the world of Malifaux by playing Through the Breach on Ink and Lyre, but since then, I've become rather submerged, I guess is the best word. I have some built models and many unbuilt models, and I'm a really big fan of a few different types that I just really enjoy. My favorite's Maxine Agassi. I love her, and yeah, so I'm excited. Let's get this party started.
I do have an important question. OG
Yes.
Maxine or Crazy Burning Man Maxine?
So OG Maxine, I came in. I think I came into chat actually on Weird at one point when someone was doing something EBS and was just talking about Maxine because that's who I am as a person, and it was either right before or right after everything came out, and I was like, I'm so worried for her, but I think she's fine. It's fine, but
it's perfectly
no,
fine. Just a little bit of corruption as a treat.
Just a little bit, yeah. Just have a little bit of corruption as a treat. It's fine. I'm still very concerned for Maxine Agassi. I'll just put that on the record.
All right, next up we have Tessa. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tessa.
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Tessa. I've been into Malifaux for a while now, since like early second, late first edition, I think. I got into it with a mild obsession with steampunk music and wanting something to paint while I was listening to it. And here I am now with pretty much every master and a 50 Soulstone crew built and painted upstairs. My main being witch hunters and death marshals.
Ooh, guild player.
Very much so.
So, were you around for the big duel of fates between Lady J and Nicodem?
I was, and I'm very happy that my girl won.
I'm sure you put in your vote as well with all the other ones. There were so
very
many
so.
after Gen Con. It was wonderful.
And finally, no, just after you.
And finally we have Max. Alrighty. Max has no audio. Let me see how I can fix that. Be right back for just a moment.
Somebody commented Max is a mime, which I think is
Hi.
Woo!
Yay! Ooh. All right. So, Max, why don't you explain a bit about yourself?
Hi. I'm Max. I hope you can hear me this time because okay, cool. Everybody can hear me. Awesome. I have been playing Malifaux not very long at all. I have done one shot with Ink and Lyre people to try and like learn about the game. So I'm kind of a newbie, so I'll be learning as you guys are learning too, probably. I've been playing D&D forever though.
Alrighty. And because Max is our newbie, we decided that they were going to be thrown under the bus a little bit. And we are going to be starting with them. So Max, tell me a little bit. We talked a little bit about it off camera before we went live. Tell me a little bit about what you're hoping to make.
So, as of 5 minutes ago, I had a concept in my mind. You mentioned all the different options I had for races, and I really want to try and play like an undead kind of deal, but like a kind of frozen undead. So they're a little bit more well preserved looking, but maybe blue skin and maybe a little bit cold to the touch. The idea I have in mind might be magic based, like spellcaster kind of deal, or not. We'll see where it goes.
Awesome. So the great thing that one of the things I love about Malifaux, the Malifaux universe, is because it's so diverse. Through the Breach has a variety of ways that you can make a concept like that happen. One of the easiest things is through pursuits. When we make your base character, and then you're going to choose what your first pursuit is.
Okay.
You have the option after in between adventures arcs our sessions, you can change to a different pursuit. Say you want to like embrace more of your undead side, or you want to embrace more of your like, perhaps magic side. You can take a new pursuit as long as you meet the requirements. Some are called advanced pursuits. They have story requirements, but that means you can over time build up with certain aspects you want, and it's not like multi-classing because you get the bonuses based off of that pursuit. So that said, we are going to be looking at two specific books for you. Into the Steam is our Arcanist source book, so to speak. And what we're going to do is you have the other one will be Under Quarantine, which is our undead reser type.
Okay.
This gives you options. You can either do the original Fate Destiny spread. You can do the Assembly Line Tarot, which is for for Arcanists from under the or into the Steam, and or you can do the Resurrectionist one, the Lifeline Tarot.
Okay.
It just each tarot kind of throws something into your path. Makes it a little different, shakes it up a little bit.
Gotcha. So the second one was like a death spread, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's read a little bit about a little bit of story time here.
Okay, let's go for it.
About the Lifeline Tarot. Let's see. The Lifeline Tarot allows players the option of playing a Stitched, an undead fated character. Stitched characters are a step above normal undead, which is why they have ability to think for themselves and alter their own destinies. If you're thinking about being like maybe a frozen type of that you like, do you like the idea of has this character been on Earthside for most of their existence, or do they kind of come to Malifaux and basically bad things happened, and they've been spending years recovering from that?
Probably the second option. We love a little bit of trauma in our characters.
As a note, for those who may not be familiar, the world of Malifaux, bad things happen. So we will be dealing with perhaps some body horror, some touching on some mental health horrors, things like that. But promise we're not going to get too scary for anyone. We're still all here to have fun. So, alrighty, let's do the Lifeline Tarot. So what we're going to do is we are going to just start with your first thing. The brush with death step. We're gonna draw the first card off the top of the fate deck.
Okay.
I believe you have access. You can grab the card, Max.
I should be able to. Yeah, I grabbed one and
Just
just drop it down.
Yep, and just drop it down. Let's pull this up. There we go. Okay, that is 9 of crows.
Oops. Okay, gotcha.
Good. Well, good for you. In general, crows are associated with the undead, so you're starting off strong. So this is your brush card. The card that tells you the nature of your encounter with death. Your brush card is kept in your hand, and it's not initially part of your tarot.
Okay.
What you're going to do is you're going to be able to, if you do not like the result of one of your steps, you can choose to replace it.
Ooh, okay.
And then that will mean that at that point, your life altered in a meaningful way. And then we'll go into what that entails. All right?
Gotcha.
All righty. So, deal a next card. And you are going to put it, you can put it underneath that card anywhere you want. We're going to make a straight line.
Okay. I can't see the board. It's all like a black screen for me.
Oh, no. Let's see why. Can you see your...
the card that I put down? No.
No? Let's see why that is. You see it now?
No. Should I try refreshing? See what happens?
Hold on. One moment. Let me see what's wrong with it. It might be on my side. Can you see it now?
Ah, that looks better.
Yay! Okay. There you go. There's your 9.
Cool. I was like, yes, that's what it is. I agree. Okay, cool. So draw another one?
Yes, please.
13
All right.
of crows.
13 of crows. That is going to be your body card.
Okay.
We are going to pop over on page 70 of our Through the Breach Under Quarantine. We have our table for the body card. I am going to record this for you so that you don't have to worry about it right now. Wrong one. Apologies. Okay, so you got the 13 of crows. Your body is going to be a spread of 0, 0, 0. Oh, nope, I'm looking at the wrong one. -2, +1, +1 and +1. That's a pretty good spread. You might end up being more physically endowed than other people. Yes, maybe it's from all the...
Look out, CJ.
You're going to punch things real hard, maybe. Or maybe
Okay.
lady.
That's
Big
right.
lady.
Didn't you say you have a weakness for strong ladies?
Yeah.
It's happening again.
A lot of people who have watched Ink and Lyre know that if there's a strong lady, either I or my character will fall in love with them. Sometimes both.
Now, if you wanted to switch your brush card with that body card, it would be -1, -1, +1, +2. So.
I think I'll stick with the first one just for the meme, honestly.
Okay.
I'm excited for it. See what happens.
All right. Now we're going to be picking you're going to flip over your second card.
Okay.
And this is going to be your mind card. Your root card. That is a 6 of clubs. Or tomes. I should know that. Okay. So this represents the skills that you may have inherited from your family, things that like you grew up around, early
Okay.
formative things. So 6 of tomes is going to be, you're going to have 3 in one skill. You're going to have, and then you're going to have 2 2s
Okay.
and a 1.
Gotcha. And do I need to have like a PDF that I'm putting all this on, or are you doing that?
I am going to be doing that.
Okay,
we are
cool.
going to be looking at the end, showing the character sheet and how to fill that out.
Excellent.
Viewers at home, I do apologize. I gesticulate a lot, so you might see things flying around. If you wanted to replace your root card with your brush card, it would change to a 3 in 1 skill and then 1 in 6 skills.
A six skill being like really good, right?
Well, you would
I
be
remember
getting
right.
a 1 in 6 different skills. So it's,
Oh, a 1 in
yeah.
6 skills.
So
I
you
see,
still have that one large skill, but you would have a larger spread.
I see. Okay. But that would replace by like big muscles?
No, that
Oh.
would not replace your big muscles. It would replace what your, the 9 would replace what your skills are.
Oh, I see. But right now I've got like a few. I'm a little bit specialized, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you have. You'll have at this step. You have 4. You'll have 4 skill categories. The other one jumps up to 6, but a lot of those are 1s.
Okay, I think I'll keep what I've got right now because I like a little bit of specialization.
Awesome. All right, I am going to need you to flip again.
Let's go.
And this is going to be your mind card.
A 5 of Rams?
Ooh. All right. This will be governing your mental aspects,
Okay.
much like the body governs your physical aspects. 5 of Rams is going to be a -2.
Okay.
/ a 0.
Okay.
/ Now here's the thing: 0 is base normal. You don't have to like that. Doesn't make you terrible. That
Right,
-2 is a little troubling though, but no one's perfect.
Right. It's true.
And also, there is the benefit of when you have some negative aspects, certain talents need to be require that. So you can always get a benefit from being, for example,
From failing.
not the most clever. Yes, Through the Breach likes to reward failure a lot. When we talk about pursuits, we'll go through the On the Pursuit ability, which also rewards you for failure. The final skill or aspect will be a +2. So
a +2. Okay, so it's kind of balanced.
Yeah, you net a positive overall. If we were going with just straight numbers.
Okay. And if it was the 9, what
if
would it be?
It was the 9, it would be -1, -1, +1, +2.
Ooh, okay. I think I might swap that one.
All right.
Just because that's a lot of plus.
That is. All right. So we actually do it this way. At that point, it changes to there.
Okay.
And we will get to what that means for you. But that does mean that I am just playing bookkeeper for you. Now, finally, you're going to flip one last. Oh, no, that's all of it, I believe. No, your Endeavor card.
Okay.
Pardon me. I'm not caffeinated enough today. I promise to fix that in the future. It will make me extra, though, so warning. So flip that last card for me. It's a 2 of tomes. You're very tomesy right now.
Tomesy.
Okay. That is going to be a 3, a 3,
Ooh,
a 3, or and 2 2s. Sorry. So
okay.
these represent the skills that you got later in life after you left your community, your commune, your family, whatever. These are things that you acquire that aren't necessarily influenced by your upbringing.
Gotcha.
So, your brush card. When you take the your since you've placed it out, that means that we're taking your rams. Oh, that is an interesting tome for you.
Okay.
So, your suit determines how your brush of death happened.
Okay.
All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to work this in since you switched it with your I believe your mind card. Yes. This can happen anytime after you. It could happen either before you came through or after. But it's not like you're something that happened to you early on.
Okay.
So it means you clawed your way back to the world of the living to avenge your own death.
Okay.
So,
I like that.
would you like some? Do you have some ideas on what direction you want to take with this, or do you want to? Would you? Do you have your own ideas, or would you like some suggestion from your compatriots, from myself?
Are we about to move into like pursuits and stuff?
Yes. After you pick your skills and what, or where after we assign those.
Okay. Avenge my own death. I'd like to hear some ideas. I've got a vague one, but I feel like we could always do more as a team. Yeah. I'm open to suggestions.
All right. CJ, Tessa, do either of you have suggestions? If not, I mean, I can throw something out there, but teamwork makes the dream work.
I mean, I was personally curious if anyone in the chat had any ideas. Just as like, if we are streaming it and Max is new to this, see what people fancy for everyone's favorite undead girl.
Galaxy
That's
brain,
fair.
Tessa. Galaxy brain.
So yeah, chat. Let us know if you have any ideas on what could have happened to Max's lady. We're taking suggestions. In the meantime, I am going to be bringing up a lovely sheet for us to fill out.
Let's go.
I'm not gonna lie, I do love being playing secretary. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I can.
Oh yes, such masterful passing of responsibility. Shush,
Thanks,
we were trying
Ginger.
to get
Love
you
you too.
involved.
I was trying to be nice, Ginger.
Oh, I didn't take it as passing responsibility. I took it
That's
as,
what they said in the chat.
as a team effort.
They're my lifelong
Collaborative.
best friend. He's allowed to insult me.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Some of you out there who know me from away from the screen, do not think you can do that. I am also the moderator of this live stream, so you'll go in timeout.
It's outsourcing.
If anyone else has an idea, there's always the option of not knowing who your killer was, and part of your quest is to figure out
who did it
if you were
and why.
stabbed in the back or something, you know.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Leaves it open-ended, gives a lot of threads to the storyteller. I mean,
like if you're frozen, perhaps being out on an expedition and then suddenly having your memory cut short.
It would have to have something to do with ice. Probably left to die in like a frozen tundra by my team.
What if you were part of the Adventurers Guild? Because my character will be part of that, and that would tie us together.
Oh, the Explorers Society?
Yeah, sorry, I'm literally thinking of that place that used to be in downtown Disney.
I understand.
I say it all the time too. I'm like, the Adventurers Guild, and people are like,
I spend my life correcting you.
And I'm like, you know, the Oh, no, wait, that's the bar that used to be in downtown Disney. The Explorers Society. 20 years ago.
Under
Having
construction said took the quickest way off the airship. I can't avenge that.
I mean, it depends.
Unless-
Maybe you had assistance. Maybe someone pushed you.
Maybe
But,
someone
like,
helped you take the quickest way off there.
No,
Into
that would
a,
be a story.
into a large snowdrift where you froze to death.
I
This
feel
is
like
really
it's got to be
cheery so
something like
far.
that. I imagine I wouldn't remember who done it exactly, but I would know that I had a team with me and I was left out in the tundra to die. And one day I woke up.
betrayal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
some kind of betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
Details will come to me, I'm sure.
The cool thing about that is if I do Explorers Society, that links us pretty quickly because you're coming back to try and figure out who offed you.
Mm-hmm.
So that might work.
I like this idea.
I like it too. Alrighty, let's see. We are going to. Nope, that's not what I wanted. So I am bringing up a character sheet right now. That way we can all have a nice little look at what a typical Through the Breach character sheet looks like. And we can fill out and see what Max. Do you have any thoughts on names currently, or is that your last step?
Ooh. Names are an interesting question for me. I like to define the name after I've got a good concept going, usually.
That's fair.
I like finding something that fits. But I'll start thinking about it.
Awesome. And while I am forcing my computer to cooperate, I know that both Tessa and CJ, you both had vague concepts. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your vague concepts, and let's start with Tessa since I started with CJ last time.
Okay, well, I am probably going to be playing someone with at least some form of guild allegiance, if not indebted or blackmailed by the local enforcement, and off either trying to repay the debt, escape from them, or find some way to backstab my way up to the top.
Guild would never do that to one of their own, would they?
No, of course not. I mean, it's all above board.
I'm sure the guild wouldn't.
Bring in a
blackmail
suitable
anyone.
criminal. Bring in a suitable criminal in order to prove my loyalty, and maybe a certain undead for Lady Justice.
Wonderful. And CJ?
Sorry, I was busy glaring Tessa down.
You're perfectly fine.
So I am actually rebooting a character that I really, really loved when I played them on Ink and Lyre, and I feel like there's so much more story to tell with them. So with their blessing, we are Maeve O'Phelan V.2. Obviously, since we're all starting from the beginning, class-wise, we're going to start from the beginning with Maeve as well, as if I'm creating an entire new character. And basically, the things that happened in their original backstory will have still happened, and other things that happened to them will also happen, but it's just going to be a part of their backstory, just this ephemeral, floating backstory that most characters have, sort of thing. So I am hyped. For those of you who may or may not have watched anything on Ink and Lyre, I have a spoiler for you, but we're going to keep it a spoiler in our character creation phase, and then it's going to go back into the closet. And that's that Maeve is a woe. But Maeve is like a really, really in the closet woe.
Why don't you take a moment to explain what a woe is for those who are not familiar with the Fovers?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, whoever's not familiar.
Yeah, whoever's not familiar, Max. I don't know. Hold on.
We have viewers at home who have stated that they're not super familiar also, so.
So there's a race of beings called the Neverborn, and the Neverborn are Malifaux's original inhabitants. They, many of them do, perhaps rightfully, this is a big debate, lay claim to this land that the humans from Earth have come in and done things to. And the woes are just one group of that. Most woes, many woes, are like centered on a single emotion, like I don't know, like hate, or what's another good example? Apathy, yeah, all kinds of usually negative ones. But for the case of the player character, you're able to be or create a slightly more rounded out woe. But they do feed to various extents on emotion, especially the very basest ones basically live on it. And they can also make people feel certain ways, depending on, also in the book, for example, you can choose skills to make people feel a certain way, so on and so forth. So they're a really interesting character. Also, something I didn't learn until I was partway through playing Meave is that it's mentioned at one point that they sort of have a synesthesia almost, where they see like emotion sort of thing. They can kind of see color based on emotion and things like that. My camera basically decided it couldn't see me at all. But yeah, they're really interesting. I mean, I love all of the Neverborn, but woe is really interesting to play. And a lot of people lean one way or another on how much empathy or apathy they're even able to have. But as a player character, it's just a really interesting thing to explore.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see what exactly type of emotion you're a woe of. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun and add a lot to our game. Yay!
Especially being super closeted, because that's always fun. Like, I'm actually not a human, but I'm going to pretend I am.
The great thing about Through the Breach is you can have that, like, monsters walk amongst us, but also maybe it's not the Neverborn who are the monsters in this case, or whatever case. So it makes me super happy.
Why do I feel super targeted by that one?
What was that?
Why do I, as the guild main, feel super targeted by that line?
I wasn't looking directly at you or anything.
Just gotta stick up your ass.
There are bad guys in every faction.
That is true.
Like,
we just like to give Tessa a hard time.
I mean,
and there's good guys like Lucius, the Right Honourable.
You would have had me if you said Hoffman. You were that close.
No.
Hoffman, though.
I stand by my loyalty.
Hoffman's the best boy.
I want to wrap him up and put him in a basket. Give him lots of nice food.
He's the best. Alrighty, so I have a sheet. I have a sheet. I have a sheet. I have a sheet. Hey, 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 hey. Let me actually open it the way I want to open it. One moment. Going back to the play screen. So, what we're going to do next is we are going to start assigning things. Checking my messages real quick, just making sure nothing's on fire behind me. I'm sure chat would tell me, fingers crossed, if like things were on fire behind me, because
they'd be like, cool effect.
Right? This is a form fillable sheet that's not quite ready, but hopefully will be ready soon. Let me make sure it's visible. Yay! Alrighty. So, Max, you got a lot going on.
That's the idea.
It's wonderful. It's great.
Uh-huh.
Let's look at assigning your aspects first.
Okay.
All right. You have a -2 to assign somewhere.
Okay.
A -1. Pardon me. A +1, a +1, and a +1.
Okay.
You're going to put those 4 between your might, your grace, your speed, and your resilience.
Okay, got you.
If you have a question about Some may see the aspects as very self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Okay. So I think I remember this part at least from when Zach walked me through this. So might would be like raw strength, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, we're definitely gonna put the +2 in there.
Alrighty.
Obviously. And grace would be like the nimble part of dexterity, right? Just to compare it to D&D.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like the strongest translation. For example, like it's not just a 2-hit type of thing. But like depending on the weapons you might use, if you were using, for example, a flexible weapon, that's something that might
That'd
come
be
into
grace.
with grace
Okay.
instead of rather than might.
Got you. Cool. Well, I'll save that one for later. Speed is like going fast, right?
Yes. You will have a minimum if your speed's in the negative.
Okay, cool. And then resilience, I assume, is like constitution, right?
Yes. It's very much about how you're able to take things.
Okay, cool. Well, this character has gone wildly down the Dami Mommy rabbit hole, so I guess I'll probably put the next highest in the resilience.
Okay. So that will be a +1.
Grace, I probably won't need as much because I'm very mighty. So I'll leave that. I'll make that the negative. And speed, whichever one's left.
And then this one was a... Awesome. Now we're going to hop over because I like to take care of mental or all the aspects at the same time. So now what we're going to do is your current is a -2, 0, +1, and +2.
What was the first one again? I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. -2.
-2? Okay.
Yes.
Well, she's got to be hot, right? So I'll put the highest one in charm, I'm thinking.
All right.
Cunning and tenacity. Can you explain the difference in those for me?
Absolutely. So, tenacity is very much like your mental fortitude.
Okay.
And cunning is how well you do on the fly.
Got you. So one is like a little more mischievous than the other, I guess?
Yeah.
Quick thinker like that. Okay. And then intellect, I assume, is like learned knowledge that you have.
Yeah. Your book learning.
Based on that, I'm going to say cunning is probably the lowest. Tenacity is probably the second highest, and then intellect's the second lowest. Okay. If that makes any sense.
That makes
That's how my brain works.
You said tenacity would be the second highest?
Yes.
Okay, just wanting to make sure. And then your that one is +1. Oh no, it's -2. Alrighty. So now we're going to be moving on to your skills.
Okay.
The great thing about your skills is Through the Breach has a lot of options.
Okay.
Tell me, we're going to start with your root skills first. Tell me about what this character was like growing up before her unfortunate freezing accident.
Growing up. Wow. Okay. Digging back.
I know, right?
This is wild. Okay. You know, I am having trouble thinking about it. That's usually like the last thing I do. But
okay, then hey, let's do reverse. Let's look at your endeavor skills. Those are things you acquired later in life, and it can be even things that you acquired after your brush with death.
Okay, gotcha. So where this kind of seems to be going in my head, I'm feeling like she's a very she kind of learned the way of the sword or the axe or something like that, and she's a very good fighter. Probably the party tank, more or less.
Okay.
Pretty good at holding her own. In the social life, probably a little bit awkward because she doesn't quite know how to hold herself in those situations. She's just kind of like the attractive without really knowing it kind of thing.
Okay. So we are going to look at some social skills for one that might be a really good choice from you right off the bat if she like is being if she worked on being a protector, being the type that can fight. We're going to be looking at what type, if you want to do combat, what type of fighting do you want to do? There's various combat skills. And as soon as my book loads, I'll be able to tell you more in depth about them. But there's we're looking at stuff that might go well if you go with might. Certain things that you would commonly perhaps assume goes with might do not. For example, martial arts is based off of speed.
Okay.
So
definitely not that.
Are you looking at using some type of weapon?
Yes.
When you think of her, like what type of weapon are you thinking?
Thinking a large weapon. CJ, don't be mad, but hammer, maul is coming to mind. So something big.
No, that wasn't an attractive ooh. That was this opens up like railway, steam, all of that stuff. I was very excited about. This time I wasn't attracted to the hammer, I promise.
We believe you.
I don't think CJ believes themselves though.
The CJ does not believe themselves.
I've got an interesting idea for like a hammer that's actually like a some kind of staff or stick with permafrost, like block of ice on the top that's kind of carved in a certain way. I feel like that might be cool. I don't know how that would work though.
The great thing about Through the Breach is we can take any existing weapon and just change the way it looks to fit.
Cool.
So
I like that.
I love the fact that we can. It's not actually filing off the serial numbers, but kind of sort of is.
Okay. I'm good with that.
You know what? I'm just going to zoom off camera real quick to grab my physical copy of the book.
Cool. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, same.
Ice bomb.
Got some plans.
I'm definitely excited.
I know why you're excited, CJ.
I have some gremlin bloodline in me, which means that my computer does not always like me. So we're working backwards. We're looking at combat type of things. So Through the Breach has different types of skills categories. They have academic, close combat, crafting, expertise, magical, ranged combat, social, and training. Now, since we're looking at combat stuff, close combat is everything that is melee weapon based, grappling. Your flexible weapons like whips or chains will be under this. Specifically, we have flexible, grappling, heavy melee, which sounds like you're gonna want max. It's the heavy melee.
Sounds good.
It is based on might.
Perfect.
So, if we are looking at your endeavor skills, you have a 2 3s and 2 2s to put wherever you want. Do you want to put one of those 3s into heavy melee?
That sounds great.
Wonderful.
Now, I was going to ask, there's a fighting style based around flexibility?
Oh, yes. It uses grace.
Not good at that.
You're not your best, but it's largely stuff to tangle. So we'd be looking at lassos, whips, chains, flails.
Okay.
A net could be counted. That's what we're looking at with flexible.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. I was just asking because I was curious about it.
That's perfectly fine. I love questions. So as you can see on this nice little sheet, we can put might, and then when we're looking at your aspect and your rating will equal what your acting value is on it, or your acting value. And you're doing pretty good so far, Max, for a big hammer lady, because you've got a +5 right now.
You know, sometimes the concept just comes out of nowhere.
So we have 3 more endeavor skills for you to put out. Do you want to look at an additional physical type stuff, or do you want to look at maybe, is there a hobby she has in the background, like blacksmithing, or?
Ooh. I'll think about the hobby. I think physical first. We'll get that one out of the way.
So we have, additionally, we have martial arts, which is based on speed.
Okay.
We have melee, which that's swords, clubs, knives, anything that can really be hidden under your jacket in Malifaux. That's connected to might. Pneumatic weapons are very much like steam powered. Additionally, if you have a pneumatic arm, say you acquire a pneumatic arm at some point, this would govern that as well. It's governed by might. Pugilism, also governed by might, and those are your close combat skills you can choose from.
You said pugilism?
Pugilism, yes.
What is that?
100 boxing, 100% just boxing.
So fist fights.
Yes.
So how often do tavern brawls happen in Malifaux?
Tavern brawl, bad things happen in Malifaux. Depending on the area of Malifaux, more bad things happen. Tavern brawls are not unheard of.
Okay. I feel like she would be an amazing fist fighter. Like, you catch her without her hammer, and you're like, I got her now. But it's like, I didn't think so.
Awesome.
Take him out. I like that idea.
Now you have 2 skills to put in that are also both +2.
+2. Okay, cool. So
do we want to look at
heavy hitting?
So yes, you are currently at +5 AV for both heavy melee and pugilism. So I would not pick a fight with you even on a good day.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear.
So we've gone through close combat. We have academic also as an option. Crafting. Crafting will be that. Funny enough, underneath crafting isn't just your typical blacksmithing art and whatnot. You have artificing, you have explosives, you have stitching, which is sewing people together.
Right, I do remember that
also,
one.
I mean, I guess you could count it as leather work, but what is leather work but just stitching skin just later on? So, homesteading also is followed under it. Homesteading is making a life for yourself outside of the city.
Oh my.
Well, I do ask if you pick explosives to give me a very good reason why.
I'm going to be honest, that's the one I was going to go with.
You were going to go with explosives? Well,
that or homesteading, yeah.
So you could do both if you wanted to. You mentioned, now you do have a good reason. As much as I say people need to have a good reason, I kind of have an idea about good reasons, and from the get-go, you're part of the Explorer Society. Like, while a junior member, they still need, junior members can be given explosives because, well, you can always get another one if they blow up.
True. Okay, that's fair. I was just thinking, like,
maybe you did.
As the part where you know, she hits hard, she's very strong, very good at taking hits. Might also be in her repertoire to throw a stick of dynamite at a group of enemies every once in a while, you know, just for some real shock value. Well, I feel like that'd be a skill she'd find valuable.
Awesome. Then let's do 2 in explosives.
Okay.
And wrong one. Do you want to do a? Is there something else that you're thinking of that you might really like for your last 2 rank or 2 rating?
Is there a charisma based one, like charm based one that would be good?
Absolutely.
That's what we're working on, right?
So also you have remember that you're going to have more with your root card as well. So keep that in mind as well. You have another 3 to throw out when we get to those. So
okay, I got you.
Especially if you want your character to have like kind of always had this natural charisma.
Right, we're working on the ones that are later in life. I see. Perfect. Okay.
Other things that can be helpful for your type is, well, you're not the most cunning, so I don't think you particularly notice things super well.
You need to point her in the right direction.
Who does? Yeah. Like, there's also husbandry. Husbandry covers you taking care of animals, things like that.
Oh, that's not what I thought it was.
What did you think it was?
Oh, finding a husband.
I'm sure that is top of your character's priority list right now.
No, not right now. Later. Would it make sense, since I'm undead, to know stitching pretty well?
Yeah,
so I can put myself back together.
Yeah, especially since you're going, maybe this isn't. I don't think I should go to a doctor. Maybe.
I probably shouldn't go.
Can you fix me? I don't have blood.
Yeah. Can you put my hand back on? Oh, it's fine.
It's totally fine. It's
just
fine.
Like that.
We'll get you a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I think there's rules for that.
Rules for healing myself as an undead with stitching?
No, getting a new hand if you lose yours.
And you bring up an actual, very pertinent point, Max. The stitching skill can be specifically used for the mend action on undead characters.
Okay. So that is a good way to go.
Yeah, you do have. So basically, it's a 2 AP action, which means you'd be spending 2 out of your AP to do it. But it does mean you know how to take care of yourself.
Cool. I like it.
And since, if I remember correctly, you can't be healed by traditional means, or at least not medicine especially.
It does not go super well.
Puts you in between a rock and a hard place.
You can also craft other things.
Glacier and a hard place.
All right, now we're going on to your root skills. These are the things that you have just from your community. You said you so we are going to be going over to the training skills for you, because the social / training skills, because I think some of these you will benefit from. Okay. So social skills. We have barter, we have bewitch, we have convince, we have deceive, we have intimidate, leadership, and scrutiny. Is there anyone that you want to hear more about first?
So scrutiny would be like insight, kind of, right?
Yeah, you're sizing a person up when you're using scrutiny.
Okay. I heard intimidation.
Yes.
I feel like that's probably a good way to go.
All right.
I feel like she just has always kind of just had this aura around her.
And
big muscles, piercing eyes,
right? Like do you have
sorry, I saw
you have
CJ's
3
keyboard spam.
2 2s and a 1.
Okay.
So, what would you like to put for, how many ranks would you like in intimidation?
I think that would probably be her strongest social skill, is being scary.
Okay. So, you are looking at a 4. That means that you have 2 2s and a 1. So we have 3 more skills to pick for you.
Okay.
Is there anything that you're thinking of the character could use? And I can suggest skills that might be helpful to your goals.
I know I went like super heavy bewitch on my last character. I don't feel like this is really turning out that way as far as how the concept's going. Scrutiny would probably be good to have a +2 to, I think.
Okay.
That one sounds pretty useful. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but
Scrutiny is always useful.
okay, cool. It's one of those skills.
Scrutiny. All right, and looking at training skills. Training skills are things for like acrobatics, athletics. The difference between those two is like one's more dexterous, the other's like
Opening a
breaking down
heavy
a
door. Yeah. Okay. We went to the same place. I like it.
We have centering, which is all about the art of keeping yourself calm when the horrors of Malifaux. Yeah, a lot of conditions may require a centering check or something bad happens.
Gotcha.
Evade is very much to try to not get hit.
We don't worry about that.
Pickpocket, stealth, toughness, and
toughness.
Toughness.
What is this?
So toughness plays an important part in determining your wounds.
Okay. So like how hurt you get from getting hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to put into toughness?
Yeah, I have one more +2 and a +1 after that.
Correct.
Okay.
So let's do that.
I feel like.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like we need a tank, so I'll get a +2 in that one.
I feel we're gonna have a sneaky one and hopefully a social one, and then we'll have our perfect party.
Well, Meave is social, but I don't know if they're that good at it. We've yet to find out.
You know what? They try. That's fine.
This iteration might be. Who knows?
They do their best.
Oh man, the number of puns in chat right now.
I'm loving it. The chat's doing great.
This is going to be a whole campaign long thing, isn't it?
If only Weird Kyle was here. He is in chat. He's the chat he's the company pun master. Anytime you see a ground-worthy pun on a Waldo's Weekly or anything, that's Kyle.
Yeah.
We'll have to bring Kyle into the fray here. Be like, no, you've got to take your lunch break here so you can just join the puns.
Jump on Twitch and just start making puns. It'll make some people sad, I'm sure.
See, puns are just a slippery slope to dad jokes, so I refuse.
I've already
the most recent Waldo's Weekly had a landslide of puns.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I have established I will not look at the chat during serious IC moments. Like if we're in character and something serious is going on, I will not be able to look at this chat.
I mean, I've seen you keyboard spamming already. This is pretty good. I'm down for it.
Alrighty. So you have a 1 to put somewhere.
Okay. And what were my options again?
Okay, well, what type would you like to be? There's a lot we could do.
There's a lot of options, I know.
Is your character, would you say your character is kind of no nonsense?
I'd say that's probably a fair thing to say.
All right.
Doesn't really get jokes all that much.
That's very fair. I have a suggestion. Let me just look at it.
It's going to be a counter to the pun. She's not going to understand the puns. She's going to take it literally.
You should play the social one.
I have a
am I playing a social character this time?
Pardon?
Oh, I was saying, Tessa, maybe you should be the social one. Part of joke. We'll figure it out.
So there's always leadership if you want to be the type to motivate others, or if you're the type that gets into bar fights, you might want some corrals.
What is a corral?
Corrals is specifically Let me find the. What page are you on, Carouse? It's being able to hold your composure while you're drinking. Carousing is the ability to consume alcohol or drugs without losing control of one's actions. Needless to say, it's frequently practiced in saloons and casinos and is often accompanied by conversation or a game of some sort. So,
Interesting.
So examples of what I might ask for a carouse flip for. If you're trying to get information by just saying, hey, I'm here to have a drink, and situations where you might be ingesting something but still want to get information, remember the night before, things like that.
Be the best drunk bar fighter in the West. Okay.
I mean, you're not even in the West at this point. You're just in Malifaux, which is like out.
Everywhere's the West for me.
Everywhere's the West except for the East.
I was born in Boston. Everywhere's the West.
They didn't
as
say
long as there is an
geography.
eastward direction to go, I am in the West. Okay.
But I guess
that sounds interesting. I like that one.
All right.
And the other, what was the other big one you mentioned right before that one? I'm sorry.
Leadership.
Leadership. I don't know about that one, Chief.
Okay. So also, I'm very easygoing as a Fate Master since we're all kind of trying on a new skin with our characters.
Okay.
Small changes are acceptable.
Got you.
I didn't think we were playing mimics.
What?
I mean, I'm yet to set it in stone yet.
You said we were trying on a new skin. I made a really bad joke.
Someone's been looking at the chat a little too much.
I have. I need to like detox from the bad jokes punny. For a little bit. I am funny, but I'm not funny.
Oh, I heard that. Oh.
It's nice to have someone else who despairs with me, Kim. Like, it's usually just these two bullying me for hours with puns.
That's okay. I'm gonna, my character is gonna be pun immune because they're not gonna understand them. I'm gonna say everything very literally, like Starfire from Teen Titans.
I was gonna say, or some Drax energy.
A little bit.
Nothing goes over my head. I'm very tall.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, I gotta work on that. I'm gonna need to practice for that, but I'm ready for it.
I think Meeve's grown a little bit to understand social intricacies over time, but a younger version of Meeve definitely did not get jokes or puns.
Alrighty. So we have got your basic stats filled in. So now we get to do some extra fun things. Looking at your brush card. Okay. So from there, we have all this filled out. You are going to get to modify your character. You can increase one of your aspects by +1. You can't go above 3 that way. Or you can gain 2 ranks in a skill that you do not already possess.
Also, if I may...
Might! Yes, Tessa?
That was quick, I respect it. Just an immediate decision. Because you had your brush with death on your mind, you also get additional augment from your brush with death.
We're about to hit that next.
Okay.
So your brush of death, just give me one moment. Let's see. So violence is what it's grouped by. For the brush of death part, up here, it is on page 80. It says, what follows are 54 thrilling and not so thrilling ways your fated might have had a brush with death.
Okay.
So, looking at it, we're with the options presented to you from your brush of death card is you have going back over. You have the option of curse. Somewhere there's a voodoo doll with your name on it, and it's full of pins.
That sounds a little bit out of left field for what I was thinking. So
Now,
Okay.
because it's all collaborative and I want everyone to have a good time, and Through the Breach can be a little bit random, there's
Mhm.
other options.
Okay.
Looking over,
I'm not opposed to having a voodoo doll. I was just
but
like, whoa.
there is what sounds perfect for you, the Six of Tomes, Frozen.
Frozen. Ooh,
You
okay.
just weren't prepared for how cold it was going to get that winter. As your body started to shut down, it was easier to just close your eyes and let it go.
That sounds pretty accurate.
Alrighty. So, and remember, folks at home, it's okay if you change the rules a little bit for the fun and bestness of your play group.
Okay.
I did say bestness. That is a personal word I like to use. So, now we are going to do, let's see. Oh, by the way, I have to increase your might. You're now at a might of 3, which gives you a hefty 6 AV.
So my punches and heavy melee.
For punching and hitting things with what might just be a frozen rock.
Yes. A block of ice.
Oh, I see the weird puns have started.
Yeah, they're really getting out of hand.
I'm not going to lie, when I first started at this wonderful company, they broke me from saying, "Oh, that's weird," within a month.
It got old.
Go,
Shut up, Ginger. That was not a callback.
Everyone at home,
this.
I am going to take a quick, just 10-minute break so people can refresh their drinks, and I can set up for the next part. So we will be right back in about 10 minutes, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Okay.
You too.
Bye.
back where I have learned the truth of the world, which is no one ever plans to end up at a Denny's. Thank you, Ink and Lyre, for teaching me this.
You just end
Happy
up
to
there.
help.
You just that's sometimes bad things happen, and that bad things is it's 2 o'clock at Denny's.
It's good during the 2 o'clock. It's bad for your stomach several hours
You just
later.
and then there's the regret on top of it. Like there's just a lot going on. So I have filled in the derived aspects. I should be able to over here. They are all nice and pretty. This sheet I just noticed is missing your initiative, but that's okay. I will get it corrected before we actually start doing start play. Okay, so each of those cards I had you turn over has a destiny attached to it, part of a destiny, I should say.
Okay.
McBluff is talking about fist fights, and child, no, you're too young for fist fights. Choose gaming, not fighting.
I think that was an old inside joke about fisticuffs in the back of the Arby's, actually.
Ah, okay, that explains.
Meet me out back of the Arby's.
All right.
Yeah.
So, with these being your cards, we are going to go one by one, and we are going to build you your own destiny.
Okay. I'm excited.
So, starting with the 13 of crows.
Mhm.
When the last of the line clenches his fist, let's see, now we move on to the 6 of tones. The mountain's first step will shake the world. Let's see, 5, or your next one's 2 of tones. 2 of tones, and your skin, or nope, but the prison's bars are forged from guilt. Endeavor card. And then we have, so your next one will be your Endeavor card. We replace that with the 9 of crows. The hounds bay for their master's command. And don't worry, I'm keeping this in all my notes so that you will have it, and it will also go on your sheet. And finally, and your heart will stop on the 13th chime. Now, Max, I'm sure that sounds like a whole lot of what?
But it'll come up.
Yes. So to explain for those of you at home, each of these lines will cover a step of Max's fated destiny. It is open to interpretation. It is my job as Fate Master to make sure that Max's fated fulfills their destiny, and to make it as fun for everyone as possible. So we have that. And now we just need to look at adding your talents and a lot of your other smaller things. So, talents. talents are, think like feats from D&D is a close analog. The difference is sometimes you might need a negative at something, sometimes you might require a positive. They tend to have various requirements. Oh, hi, sweet child. I don't know who that is, but I love their little snowflake.
That's my girlfriend.
Aw, welcome. Shout out to everyone's supportive friends, family, and partners who've tuned in today. Pardon me. So, each fated can choose one general talent. You get to look at from the under quarantine talents as well. So let's talk general because there's a lot of talents. During this time, have you been thinking more and more about your character, what type of lady she is, Max?
Yeah, I've got a pretty decent idea of it. Just been I've been brainstorming names for sure.
Do you have any front runners so far?
Yeah, I think my number one right now, I concur with CJ on this because I DM them a whole list of names, is Ember. It has just the right amount of irony, and it's perfect.
It's funny because she's frozen.
I make those same comments, CJ. Like, oh, it's funny because blah. Well, everyone just looks at me and goes, yeah.
Thanks, sweet. Yeah, we got the joke. Thanks. That's my job.
You know what? The folks at Weird, they are wonderful for keeping me around when I am very much, like, I'm barely better than Waldo, everyone. Like, all right. So, what type of things do you want to look at? Do you, how close to your undead nature is Ember?
I feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, she's probably around a 5.
Okay.
Like, being frozen, she doesn't really look undead, but she also knows like how to keep up with herself and obviously stitch her hand back on if she needs to. Very, I don't know. It's a weird down the middle split. It's not like she's super like Frankenstein, but she's also just like, she's very come to terms with it, I guess.
That's fair. That's good to know. I am looking currently at because there are so many talents, I do not have them memorized, but I'm looking to see if there's anything in general that you. Ooh, that is actually perfect for you. I personally suggest you take the talent well preserved. The requirements are stitched, which you will be.
Perfect.
Charm 1 or higher, which you have.
Awesome.
The character's body is intact and preserved enough for her to easily pass as a living character in polite company. The T-ends of scrutiny challenges made to determine if this character is undead are increased by 2.
Okay.
So,
I like it.
To most people, you don't look super duper dead. All right.
I like it.
So now we have under here, we have our general talents. I am going to put well preserved. And because I want everyone to, even if my players aren't super are experienced with Malifaux, I'm thinking that everyone, that the Fated are. So Max, I am going to be assigning you a talent.
Okay.
Specifically, and everyone's going to get a talent assigned to them that helps, that basically what I'm doing is I'm picking a talent that specifically takes one of your negative aspects or that requires a negative aspect.
Got you.
So we are going to the big section of talents. In case anyone has not picked up the Through the Breach core rulebook, 2nd edition, I highly suggest it. It has like 3 different bookmarks. It's well bound. It's beautiful. I promise I am delaying for a good purpose.
Yeah, let CJ show off. It's fun.
Wow. It's so pretty.
Let's see.
Is that your best
So-
like advertisement face, CJ?
Way to sell it.
I
Way
should have
to
replaced
sell it.
Vanna White, okay? It was my calling.
Let's see. I think that you're definitely not going to be a cynic. What is your... So, I am going to give you Seize the Day. The requirement is Grace -1 or lower, which you have. What it does is this character has learned to overcompensate for her awkwardness in combat by ensuring that the fight ends before it can be an issue. You will gain a positive flip on your initiative flips.
Ooh. Okay. I like that. I'll kill you before you have a chance to hit me. Very nice.
I mean, that is like if you end the fight before those fighters, then it's not much of a fight.
That was absolutely the mentality of the last character I feel that we keep talking about, Amelia. She didn't have a whole lot of health, but damn, did she kill things faster than he could hit back.
I have a my personal Through the Breach character for a game run by the fabulous Doug Broman is she's a strong, punchy lady, and she very much likes to try to end the fight before it hits her perhaps more squishy friends. At least she can think they're friends. That Jonathan Kane guy, maybe not. Yes, Doug, it is you. So, let's see, plus flip for initiative. Awesome. That is not how you spell initiative, Kimberly. There we go. Alrighty. So now we are going to be looking at pursuits.
Okay.
After Ember died in this horrible, did we agree that it was an expedition?
Seems like a great idea. I like it.
Do you feel like you were betrayed, like knocked over the head and left in a cave, or do you think that they thought you were dead and
I feel
left
like
you for dead?
The mental image I had was like a personal, like they're out in this tundra area, like on top of a glacier or something, and suddenly like the ice like splits in the middle, and like Ember has the time to like throw her party members over to the right side, and then she can't get over it herself because she's not like it's too wide by that point, and they just kind of left her there. Like, cool, thanks, tank, bye.
Oh, that's so sad.
That was my personal idea.
I love that idea.
I'm not saying this should be what happened, but when you were first describing what was happening and it's cracking and everyone's going, I thought you were going to be like, and then there was an I killed Mufasa moment.
Oh my god.
they just let her float away in the ice, like, bye.
Farewell, like red shirt, goodbye.
Oh, red shirt is sad. So there are some fabulous, there's so many different fabulous basic talent or pursuits.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned before, you get to choose your pursuit at the start of each session.
Okay.
So what I'm asking from you for now, because your character's experienced Malifaux for a while, this is going to essentially be, think of it as your background pursuit. You already did a couple steps of that.
Okay.
All right. Which means that you will get you'll get talents for it. I will tell you what those are. So basic pursuits from under quarantine are
Mhm.
bully. A bully is a character who uses fear and intimidation to accomplish her goals. The threat of violence makes it difficult for her victims to fight back against her, but if push comes to shove, the bully is more than capable of backing up her threats with brutal efficiency. In these moments, the bully prefers to be right up in the thick of combat, cracking skulls as her enemies flee in terror. The next one is Chemist. I'm not quite sure your chemist material, but maybe. There is
Just because I
more.
like explosives.
There is more to science than metal and machines, and a chemist focuses on the compounds and chemicals that make up the field of alchemistry. While capable of crafting a variety of useful concoctions with various effects, chemists are perhaps best known for the lethal poisons they are capable of inflicting upon their enemies.
Okay.
Then there's the Forgotten. A Forgotten is, well, sorry, I can't remember what I was saying. Forgotten are those individuals that easily fade from the memories of others, slipping unremembered into the shadows. Manipulating the memories of those around her allows the Forgotten to control just who remembers her presence and who does not. A powerful tool for those who do not like to draw attention to themselves.
That doesn't sound like her.
Ghost Eater. It is common knowledge that soul stones are charged by the deaths of those around them. Many believe that soul stones actually trap the souls of the departed as they die. A ghost eater lends further weight to that theory as she is able to feed on the souls that have departed in much the same way. Each devoured soul increases her spiritual capacity, allowing her to accomplish amazing feats through force of will.
I remember this one, and I'm going to keep it in mind for sure.
Okay. My personal favorite from this book, Ghoul. Cannibalism is an unfortunate reality. A ghoul is someone who has been forced or willingly chose to consume the flesh of the fallen. This desperate act has granted her newfound strength and health, and with each new meal, she grows more powerful as she consumes the strength of the fallen. In short, you get stronger when you eat people. I appreciate the ginger one, a sippy cup of souls. That is a great way to describe a ghost eater. The next is medium. Those rare people who are able to speak with the spirits of the dead are called mediums. Because of the borders of life and death are thinner in Malifaux, mediums frequently learn how to pull angry spirits into the world of the living and turn their rage and furies against others. Necromancer?
Dibs on medium.
What was that?
I said dibs on medium.
That's great. Necromancer. Necromancers use necromancy. The Great Spirit speaks to them, tells them to do all sorts of fun things. Very, very Nicodem. Sawbones is the last one, and that's someone who, you're a doctor. You are what Malifaux could consider a surgeon.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I have to tune
Are you
in.
about to say the same thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure how one would pronounce your screen name. Is it Feyrak? Just said Ember would not be a medium, at least a large.
Can I be a large? Is this?
Is that like a super medium?
Well, there is a behemoth in the from Nightmares.
I was
book,
about to
which wouldn't
say
be a
someone in
large.
chat mentioned a behemoth, and that sounds interesting.
So, we are pulling out now from the newest source book from Nightmares. And from Nightmares allows you to has a create Destiny spread specifically to play a Neverborn. So, let's look at Behemoth.
That just sounds cool.
It's a super fun pursuit. I've played one before.
Stuff like big words like that mean big things. Like I've always gotten my attention. Like I've listened to an artist recently called Dr. Colossus, and I was like, that's the coolest name I've ever heard.
I mean,
that's
look at
awesome.
This very large lady with her very fine horns.
Behemoth. Oh, God.
Hey, lady.
If you start as a behemoth, A behemoth begins by increasing her wounds by +1 and may increase their height to 3. They also begin with a
Yes.
close combat weapon worth no more than 10 script.
Okay.
All right. So is that what we're starting with?
Well, I mean, you said she could be really tall, so.
Yes. Yes. So you are starting with Behemoth or Behemoth. Behemoth. Is that like a behemoth who really likes queens?
Yes.
Yeah, it was between that or bully
Streak
or
ahead.
like soul eater because I had like a cool image where they'd be like, no, I'm
Behemoth,
super strong. But
Rhapsody. Oh, I tried. It didn't work.
behemoth sounds too cool. I want to be big.
You want to be big?
No, you
So
you change your pursuits later, right?
Yes, you can change them later.
Will I get smaller?
No. That's what I was
Okay.
going to say. You will still carry behemoth as something that
Traits?
you have done. Yes, you will still
Okay.
any pursuit you take and advance in will give you a lasting trait.
Okay.
So you're going to be a behemoth, which gives you towering figure. Larger individuals naturally draw more attention, especially in combat situations. This character has learned to use her size as an advantage. She lets weaker allies escape from a situation unharmed while facing down an opponent, daring them to make a move against anyone but her. This character gets +1 to the final duel on any impose action she takes, and we will go over impose when we cover different types of actions. Against the character with a lower height, or if she makes an imposed action against the character with a lower height characteristic than her, she gains +flip to the duel instead. So, also because you have your wounds increased, you are at 7 wounds and you are height slash size 3. So, you are going to be very hard for me to have lasting things happen to you. I'm gonna have to plan with Ember in mind for combat.
A height of 3. How big is that for my small brain?
Okay, let me give you perspective.
Okay. Nine-ish feet, says the chat.
I've gotta say, like, just on a side note, tangent to what you were talking about earlier, Max, one of the things I love the most about Through the Breach is that it's set up for what you would call multi-classing. Like, you don't have to just go straight through a thing, which is so cool because you can explore a bunch of different stuff and you don't suffer for it like other
You don't give
games.
up a lot of
Sometimes if you multi-class too much, you'll never keep up with the rest of your party. But this is actually set up for you to be able to do that. I think it's like one of my favorite things. The other thing that's my favorite is like injury and illness tables, because apparently I just really like suffering.
Please never change, CJ.
I appreciate your candor.
I mean,
well, that's wonderful.
I like
it. There is a thing I am looking for right now in my brain. Let's see. So yeah, that's why I was double checking. I wanted to make sure I had grabbed the right model. So Max, this is height 3.
Okay.
Height 2. You're like Nakima, brood mother size.
So I'll just pick up CJ's character under one arm.
You're poor CJ's character. She's gonna be so targeted. They're gonna be so targeted.
Perfect.
It's okay. They're gonna be a tougher nut to crack because they've been through some shit. So
yeah, you think so?
Just put them in a backpack and carry them around like a baboon.
Yeah.
I would like to point out
your character may be tougher. I don't think you
fighter.
are.
Oh no! Shut up.
Shush.
Sorry, Tessa. Go ahead.
Can we go 3 for 3 on CJ's love interest dying?
That was definitely the shut up was aimed at Tessa. I know what you were saying.
Oh.
Look, Ellie had guns and that didn't save her.
Is this gonna end up being like a Twilight situation where you're just surrounded by hot people?
Probably.
You're like, oh, what do I choose?
I know. Except I feel like, yeah, a younger me would have been much more flustered by being surrounded by lots of hot people.
Cool.
Now,
I'm into it.
a thing to know about pursuits. Part of the reason why it's important to really think about your pursuit before you pick it is each pursuit has what they call an on the pursuit ability. That
Mhm.
means that while it is your active pursuit that you are using, you gain a benefit from failure, for lack of a better term. For example, the Behemoth is on the pursuit heavy hitter. When this character fails a heavy melee skill duel during dramatic time, she may draw a card. During the epilogue, a character on this pursuit may advance in the heavy melee skill or a training skill in addition to those skill advancement options presented by the Fate Master. To explain that, at the end of in the epilogue of every adventure, I'm going to go, Max. Ember used corrals a couple times in this story, and she used stitching to help another undead. You can choose one of those for advancement. For heavy hitter, that means that you would also be able to pick, for example, heavy melee, or or a training skill. So it gives you a little bit more choice in how you advance. So
Okay.
I am putting that on here for you.
That sounds very much right up this character's alley. I'm excited for it.
I'm taking note of your towering figure.
Uh-huh.
All right. Now, you talked about your weapon, and I said we would get to this. No,
Right.
you're not. It's not behemouthy. Kimberly, what are you
Behemouthy? I think we should keep it.
It's your nickname. It's not.
Okay.
It's behemouthy. That's your middle name or something. It sounds like a very nice name. So tell me what you are thinking about more in detail about your weapon.
So I feel like it would be like, okay, I've got a very specific story in mind, I guess. Wow. Okay.
That's okay.
I was thinking, right? So she has this big maul, like a two blunt faced giant hammer. She takes with her out on this expedition that everybody's going on.
Okay.
While they're out on the expedition, the hammer breaks. The maul part of it comes off. She's left with just a stick. Essentially, when she dies and she comes back, her stick is stuck in the glacier, and she pulls it out when she wakes up, and it's like a big chunk of ice.
Nice.
And that's her new hammer. And
awesome.
Probably carves it down to actually be an effective hammer or something. Maybe add a spike to the end. I don't know.
You know what? I absolutely love that. I'm just checking to make sure there isn't any interesting weapons to pull inspiration for in under quarantine, but I think they mostly have poisons. Not saying that poisons aren't great. Poisons and sicknesses just aren't hammers.
True.
Yeah, I think most weapons come in the core book from what my memory.
Yeah. So, and I love it. And you know what? It's magic December ice. Therefore, I am going to fluff rule that, like, unless something physically attacks your hammer weapon or your hammerhead, it's not going to melt or something. I'm not going to make you have to replace the ice chunk regularly.
Okay.
Let's see. Weapons.
Steam powered says rail hammer in the core rules get you where you're going, but it can be jazzed up.
Rail hammer would be my bet.
Rail hammer. Yep. Okay. So one, the cost is under the 10 script for Behemoth. 10 script limit. So so the rail hammer has some stats. It has a range, a melee range of 2. So that means 2 squares out, you'll be able to hit someone.
Nice.
Yeah, you have a little bit more of an extension and then, for example, just a dagger or something like that.
Right.
It hits for 2 on weak damage, 4 on mid damage, and 6 on severe damage. So
Okay.
that you can potentially do a fair amount of damage to a skull or any other body part.
Okay.
And you meet the skill requirement for it. So as long it like I think of all the options I've seen in heavy melee so far, I think it'd work really well for you. Giant hammer. So, do you have a does Ember have a name for her ice hammer?
Yes. I need to probably type it to you because it'll be weird to spell.
That's fine.
I'll message you about it. That's called, I think it's pronounced icebreaker or Eastbreaker.
Okay.
Or Eastbreaker. It's basically, it means icebreaker in German, but it's kind of
Awesome.
spelled funny. So let me hit you with that. What's the name of a metal band that I really love?
Hey, sometimes you get inspiration from some of the greatest places. Let's see. Oh, nope, you have to be banned. Sorry, doing a little bit of moderation right now.
No solicitors.
Yeah, the problem is I can't actually, like, they keep slipping my filters. And I can't say, like, famous because then, like, no one can ever mention the infamous keyword in chat, and, like, that's a problem.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
pronounced exactly like icebreaker.
It's
Okay.
icebreaker. I'm really bad at German, but it's like, did you know the name for polar bear is Eisbär? Because that's very cute.
I know I have learned a little bit of German. I tried it before I started on Polish. And I do appreciate that German is very much one word plus another word.
Yeah.
Yes.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, I'm like 50% German roughly. My mom's very German, so I learned a lot.
Are you
from her
doing a German
cousins.
accent?
Fuck no.
Okay.
That would turn out
Language.
terrible. Oh, sorry.
What is our rating on this?
Just because we are like 13, rated for 13 and higher.
Okay.
Does that mean we can drop one per
Icebreaker.
movie?
One per stream.
One per stream.
Like a PG-13, right?
just try to keep it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, I understand. My language is kind of rough, depending. So,
You
but
did
I
it.
got my
You
teacher
took the
voice
one
on
F.
it. So yes, that's the one for the character creation sessions. So Tessa, CJ, you're out. Like, sorry, you can't. You have to use all the good person words.
Oh, and I have to use
no
4.
naughty words. All right. So with that, we are about to wrap up. I would like to thank everyone for joining us. And I especially want to thank Max for their patience in me flipping through book after book. And
We're all good.
Awesome. Join us back in 2 weeks where we will continue with CJ and Tessa's characters, which I can't wait to see exactly how they form up and how this wonderful group gets together. Then we will probably follow up at the end of the stream with a quick little demo that we have called I'm on a Train. So thank you all for joining the PlayWyrd stream with Ink and Lyre. Everyone have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.